Hi everyone, it's me, Gabrielle here, and today I'm going to talk about Comcast. Now, a lot of folks who make films talking about Comcast, is my head on crooked? Yeah, looks like it is. Fuck. Anyway, a lot of folks who talk about Comcast, they never ever talk about any good things. Most of the folks who talk about Comcast either talk about one, their fees being too high, two, they either talk about their interweb feed, their far speaker feed, or their far seer feed either being slow or not running, or being lied to about how much that they yielded for, how much the fees are, and other things. Now, for many folks, Comcast is the only interweb giver, wire giver for your far speaker and your far ringer, and for interweb for your reckoner. Oh, there's sundry other businesses, but very few of them, very few folks have them. Now, first off, I know that I'm going to come up, and some folks might think I'm coming up with forgivenesses for them. First off, there's a thing called the near fee. Now, Comcast has a deal with sundry near law moats. Either they be a trump or a borough or a township, town, or stead. And depending on how many folks have the interweb feed or far speaker feed or far seer feed through the wire, these near law moat will raise up the fee, which Comcast then has to yield that somehow. So that tends to come out of the buyer's income each month. Now, that's just talking about the fees that go up and go down, known as a near fee. Now, the other fees that a buyer, he or she yields ourselves, would be the fee for the interweb hookup or feed, the wire feed for one's far speaker, for one's far ringer, one's far seer, if one still has those things. But since there are some folks in this world that they cut the wire, they don't have far seers, everything they watch and do is all on the interweb. Now, for those folks out there, yeah, but for most folks who still have the interweb feed for their reckoners, the wire feed for their far seers, and this wire feed for their far ringers out there, they got that fee. Now, depending to what deal they got, if they're a new buyer or not, depending on what deal they got, the fee might not be the same. Now, what some folks end up bitching about is that when someone at Comcast told them that their fee for the interweb or for the far seer feed wire hookup, or the far speaker feed hookup, or the interweb feed hookup for their reckoner would only be worth this amount if they got them all free together, or if they only wanted two out of the three. And then they learn when they get their bill, either through the wire or through either through the inner wire, however they get how they set it up for themselves, they learn that now their fee's this. And we're not talking about the near fee. We already talked about the near fee. We're talking about the fee that the buyer themselves makes a deal that they will yield each month for having the interweb feed hook up for their reckoner, or the wire feed hook up for their far seer, or the for the wire feed hook up for their far speaker. Most folks either bitch about the interweb either being those fees being too high, they can't afford it, or they don't understand how someone told them one thing but it shifted out to be another. And I don't have any forgivenesses for that. Another thing which tends to happen is either their interweb speed is either not as fast as they were hoped it would be, their far speaker feed for, their hookup for that, or the far ringer speed for it wasn't what they thought, or they're out. Now sometimes we have had outings that has happened from time to time. We did have one that happened at least around the 20th month, and one that kind of happened around the 5th month. So yeah, it does happen from time to time. Now most folks will say it's happened to them every day. Most folks will say that they have been lied to or played, with by Comcast or any of their other offshoots. Now, some folks will think, oh well, why don't we go to Verizon or AT&T or Chester or Cox or Bright House or Spectrum or Fortrell if you can. If your near law moat only has a deal for Comcast, then you can't get the other ones. If your near law moat has a deal with another one, then if you want to go to that one, go ahead. But it doesn't mean to think that Verizon or AT&T or Chester or Cox or Spectrum or Bright House or Fortrell, are going to be any more or they're not going to have things that are wrong with it than what with Comcast. Now, at the end of the day, whatever someone chooses to do is their own business. But I like Comcast. And to me, I have had Comcast for most of my life. Yeah, growing up I had TCI wire for many years. And then after that I had Adelphia. And then from Adelphia it went to Comcast. And then we had, the bullshit DirecTV thing. It didn't go really well. And before going back to Comcast again. Now a lot of folks might think that, shifting to the moon might be thing. That there's no way that Direct or Dish would have it. Well, Direct and Dish don't really have a good name either. Their things have bugs in it too. Their fees go up too. And unlike a wire giver, they don't really have a good name for themselves. Their interweb might be even more slower than everybody else's interweb. Their far speaker or far C or wire feed might not be as good as the others. So at the end of the day, whatever you choose to do is your own business. Now, I'm not going to go say that I'm a Comcast lover girl or anything like that. But I am going to say that at least when it's come at least to my dealings with Comcast, I've had mostly good dealings with them. I can't speak for everyone else around the world, or at least around the land, that have bad dealings with them. So your guess is good as mine. So that's just my thoughts on the whole Comcast thing, about how, yeah, there are things about Comcast that are not right, things that, irk folks or make them angry. I get that. But at the end of the day, I don't really truly believe that they're as bad either. They got their ups and downs. Alright? So if you like this film, follow me over here at Xena Melinda Pappas. What's the other film we made? I think we made, gotta think back when I make it. Sunday, over here. Gabrielle, or Gabrielle Coveton. Hope you like this film, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. Farewell.